everyone, how's it going? It's Swaybae, and this is our day 5 of top 5. So that means tomorrow the new expansion comes out. So what better to leave us off with than the 5 heroes that you wouldn't think of playing on day 1 that might secretly be OP? So not included in these top 5 are the very obvious heroes, which are Tess, Scabs, and Rafam. For obvious reasons, you get to steal minions. And also in that order, Tess first, then Scabs, then Rafam, because everyone's going to be playing Undead, so will be very useful to play one of those heroes, as well as Lich King, because Lich can reborn anything, great Undead synergy. But those are the obvious ones. Now let's get into the ones that maybe aren't quite so obvious. First on our list is Onyxia. So Onyxia has some pretty nice Undead synergy because of the Reborn and Death Rattle aspect of Undead. So summoning that 3/1 over and over and over again isn't going to be too challenging. And I don't know about y'all, but there has been so many times where that last little 3/1 has flown down onto the board and been just enough to either lethal or do a good amount of damage just because of the Tavern tier that my opponent is on. Next, we have Flurgal. So Flurgal, specifically with Skyfin and Magma Lock, could get absolutely crazy. Flurgal already gets kind of that scaling value of receiving a minion every 5 sold, and on top of that, Murlocs are generally going to be more Battlecry than not, so the chances of getting the Battlecry for the Skyfin, especially in that earlier part of the game, are pretty high. And then the cycling that you're going to be doing with the Magma Lock can absolutely add up. And you're also not restricted to just Murlocs with these 2 units. You can absolutely incorporate elementals as well. I think honestly having an elemental or 2 would be great. Cycling Felementals here and there, really, really awesome with Flurgal. Speaking of Felemental, next we have Jandus. So Jandus has that kind of, with the elementals, when you play elementals and Nomi and you're kind of scaling these elementals, you swap an elemental back into the shop, it is going to get those additional stats and match whatever's going on in the shop. Same kind of concept with Felemental, I believe, because the Felemental does give the shop for the rest of the game stats. So cycling the Felemental, just, getting overall stats may be very good for tempo. So my last 2 are kind of a meme, but also I wouldn't be Sway if I didn't give you some memes. We have Mutinous with Chronormu and also Ball of Minions incorporated in this if possible, or just Chronormu. So if you have the Ball of Minions, you golden Ball of Minions, you sell eventually after you've buffed it up a little bit. 2 units on your board get those stats, and then also Chronormu in the shop gets the stats. Then you can purchase Chronormu, and as Mutinous, you can eat those stats again. So that feels like a really, really nice big swing turn. And with Mutinous, very, very valuable because you can put those stats on whatever you want. You can buy brand new minions and just have 2 brand new minions, and the golden ball impacts both of those. Then you get Chronormu, and then you eat Chronormu. Like, insane scaling for a board pivot. And last but not least, this one has been talked about a little bit, but it's Lady Vash with Greta Goldgun's Golden Gun. But basically, just that first spellcraft is permanent, so it is going to interact the way that you think it's going to, where you play the spellcraft on another Naga or Pirate, and it does impact. So that can happen very, very quickly, and you don't necessarily need to be playing Naga to do that. Also, just a little footnote, like an honorable mention, because I do think these heroes are going to be pretty nutty as well. I believe Kurtrus, Greybow, and Vandar are all going to see a good amount of help for their kind of play style, since minions are going to be summoned for Greybow. With Kurtrus, you are going to be able to eventually buff all of those things that are summoned afterwards. So like the Nerubian King and also Nerubian Death Swarmer help with the summons, but also you get those additional stats from Kurtrus. I think might be incremental, but pretty good. And then Vandar giving the health, where, Undead seems to be pretty focused on attack. So overall, I think that those 3 heroes will be beneficial as well. So that is it. That is our day 5, our last day of top 5s. Let me know if you enjoyed this series. It was really fun to make and a lot of work from both me and my editor. So really, really appreciate all of you that watched. Like and subscribe, and let me know what you think the new hero is going to be like in the patch tomorrow. I'll see y'all out there. Bye, everyone.